Hello, my name's Adam Miller, and I'm going to be showing you a bike route that I like to take some guests on from out of town. I think being on the back of a bike is a great way to see any city, just being able to move around somewhat quickly, but also taking your time to be able to see and really engage in your surroundings. So we'll draw just a rough outline of the city to start us out. This is sort of downtown in the Strip District area, and we'll just draw the outline of the rivers here. So you get the idea. I generally start at my apartment building at 23rd Street in the Strip District. So we'll just mark our starting point there. And we head down along the riverfront trail that leads from the Strip District down into downtown. So as you're heading along this, it's a paved path that leads right along the river and takes you underneath a lot of the bridges that are out here. So the first one that you pass is the 16th Street Bridge, and we'll just kind of mark that here as a point of reference. You head down and go under a few more bridges, and then you get to the convention center, which we'll draw in right here. And from the convention center, there's a new area that they built out right in front of that you go down a ramp to get down in front of the convention center onto a path that leads right, you're actually like right along the river now. There's nothing really between you and the river. And that leads along to some more bridges. So you go under, I believe this is the 9th Street Bridge. Go under that one, and then the next one that you come to is 7th Street. And the 7th Street Bridge has ramps leading up to it on either side, which makes it great for biking, so you can just ride your bike straight up that ramp and over the 7th Street Bridge on the sidewalk, so it keeps you out of traffic, and takes you over to right over to where the Alcoa building is. I'll just kind of mark that in. So I didn't leave much space here to show this, but you kind of turn around beside the Alcoa building and come down in front of it. There's a ramp in front of it, and once you hit the bottom of that, you can kind of do an about face and head back the way you were heading on the other side of the river. And this trail then takes you along underneath yet another bridge, the 6th Street Bridge, and then you're right in front of PNC Park, the baseball stadium, which we'll draw in here like that. So right here you've got great views of all of downtown, and you can continue biking out here as far as you'd like. The Steelers Stadium is further down, and the Science Center and the casino, but I generally like to go about to here. After you pass the baseball stadium, there's a couple series of buildings up to your right, and there's some paths that cut back up towards those buildings. So if you come down underneath the next bridge that you pass, which I believe is the Fort Duquesne Bridge, which comes over like this. Once you go under that bridge, if you take the next kind of path that cuts back up, it leads to a pedestrian bridge that accompanies the Fort Duquesne Bridge. So you can cut back up there, come across this bridge into Point State Park, and from there there's a couple different ways you could go. You could take some of the trails that go back, connect back up into this area and go back along the river towards where you came from, or you could head into downtown. But one thing that I like to do with guests is to take them across the next bridge, which is the Fort Pitt Bridge. There's another pedestrian bridge that goes along that one, and over towards the south side and onto this trail that heads up here towards one of our inclines up to Mount Washington. So you can bike along that trail over to here, lock up your bikes, because I don't think they let you take bikes on the incline, and get on the incline and ride that up to the top of Mount Washington, which we'll say it kind of looks like that. And from Mount Washington, you just have spectacular views of the city and the buildings downtown, all of the area that you were just in, and it gives you really good perspective on the city. So after that, you can kind of come down here and ride along the trail that leads all the way down into the south side, all the way back to the South Side Works. And I generally like to take that down to the Hot Metal Bridge area, where there's a couple restaurants that are good places to stop and grab a drink or something to eat if you're hungry. One of them is the Hofbrau House, which we'll mark like that. And you can stop there and have a liter of beer, which kind of helps you along to finish the rest of the ride after you're done. And from there we can turn around, head back the way we came. But we're going to not go the whole way back to the Fort Pitt Bridge. Instead, we'll go across the Smithfield Street Bridge this time. And there's a trail that leads up beside that, up onto the sidewalk. You can go across there and then down into the city. Just take Smithfield Street the whole way until it comes to a dead end on Liberty Avenue, where it intersects with Liberty. So from there you can take Liberty up towards the convention center, and I generally like to turn left onto 10th Street, I believe it is, to avoid, if you go out further, you get into a lot of traffic. So it's good to turn left at 10th Street and then take a right in front of the convention center onto Penn Avenue. And you can take Penn Avenue all the way back into the Strip District, and you actually have to turn, it becomes one way at 16th Street. So you want to turn and go under 16th Street onto Smithfield like this, and you can get back where you started. So it's a rather ambitious route, but you have to find the right guests that are willing to follow you around, or maybe just don't tell them how far it's going to be. But it's a really great introduction to Pittsburgh and allows you to see a lot of the city and just kind of get a feel for where a couple of the different neighborhoods are and see different areas in the city.